Oh, hey, there we go. All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Pulse. And it's another awkward intro. Sometimes these things take up to 2 minutes to start going live, and I'm sitting here just scratching my head. I think that is one of my favorite things about doing this. But hey, it's me, Brandolph from the Chads Media, and we are here for our Wednesday Pulse. This is a weekly live segment on X and YouTube where we feature personalities, builders, and founders in the larger Web3 ecosystem with a little focus on Polygon because that's the chain where the Chads are building. We have put out some releases and some updates for the Clones NFT project. So if you didn't catch it, Clones, that other account on Twitter, is actually the rebrand for the Polychads NFT, which is coming along. We're working on our traits with our 5 artists and very excited to bring forth a new feel to NFT projects. So you can get involved by clicking through our profile at the Chads Project or at clones underscore ECB1 and get involved that way if you want to be early. And yeah, very exciting times. So today we have a very special guest, our good friend Aztec, whom some of you may have seen around the space. He has been involved on Polygon for quite some time and is holds many titles. I don't want to mess them all up. So at the very least, you may have seen him on the All Roads Lead to Polygon Friday Twitter space, which is one of the biggest spaces that there is. So I know I try and attend weekly and find a lot of value there. So I'm very excited to have him along here today. And without further ado, we will go ahead and bring the man himself into the room. Aztec, welcome to Pulse. How you doing, man?
It's great to be here, Brandolph. Thank you for inviting me. It's a nice, busy day.
Yeah, there's a lot going on today, man. I don't know if you got the Jupe airdrop. I got some Jupe. I went and claimed. I did quite a bit of stuff on Solana when I first got into stuff here. So exciting times, and that usually kind of takes everybody's time and attention away. But we've got you sequestered to our little corner of Twitter here for the day, and really excited to talk, man. So I know you. We've talked. We've had many conversations, but the viewers, they may not have seen you before, and I want them to get a little background. So you've been in crypto for some time. Uh, can you tell us a little bit about the early days of Polygon from Matic Network?
Sure. Yeah. So I'm here for the ride. I'm excited to chop it up with you, Brandolph. The early days of Polygon was Matic Network, actually. And I felt like this might come up. So I brought this shirt. I don't know if you can actually see it,
Nice.
but this was a shirt that went out to just a couple people, maybe like 100 people way back in the Matic Network days. So early Polygon was actually Matic Network before they rebranded. And, it was just this small team that had worked on a couple things on Ethereum. The Matic Network team had some success previously. They had built an application called Dagger, and then they started Matic Network, and they wanted to do some kind of layer 2 scaling for Ethereum using plasma technology. This is way back in the day, and so that's kind of how they started. I remember seeing that. Uh, I was already interested in Matic for a long time, but then seeing that they got a some kind of like investment from Coinbase was kind of like a bit of legitimacy, and kind of further made me realize just how big of a deal this Matic network was going to be. And yeah, so they had previous success. They were doing something really cool, building something with plasma technology at the time. And there was a really strong team, great developers, friendly, and uh, I think that's kind of like the beginning of Matic Network, at least for me.
Awesome. So you've been involved since then, and there's certainly been just a huge story arc from those days to now. So fast forward now, I know where I encounter you is on the All Roads Lead to Polygon space. So, how long have you been doing that? And then, of course, we're going to have to ask about Quickswap and your involvement there, because this is a huge exchange on Polygon. This is a huge space that you guys co-host every Friday, and hard to ignore. So, where did all this get started?
Sure. So it really started um, with my involvement, I guess, with Matic Network Polygon way back in the day. I was one of the very first people, like even before the Binance IDO. And so I'd been networking, making a lot of friends in, the Matic network kind of scene. That's where I met LDA. I was one of the only people making Matic network content really early on. And LDA brought me on because they knew I had like really extensive knowledge, and LDA was uh, the main marketing firm at that time for Matic Network. So um, I came on to LDA as a writer, and and at that time, that's when LDA was kind of doing a bit of a transition. The uh, Matic Network was still Matic Network, hadn't transitioned. They had spun up a chain, and Sandeep needed a good exchange. And because we were, the best marketing firm and kind of like incubation firm that he knew, he asked us to go ahead and spin up Quickswap. But that's about. I was there. I had just joined, and I saw all the really cool, marketing people at LDA doing their thing. But I remember them, creating the logo and talking about, the technology. And this is all like, really, this is right when the Matic network barely spun up.
Okay.
And yeah, so like I got to see QuickSwap begin, like spin up, become incubated. I was still new to LD at that time. I was really, I hadn't really honed in all the skills that I have now, but I've seen QuickSwap grow, over the years, and I've been there since the beginning. Even though I didn't really add too much value really early on. But then, now fast forward to today, we have all roads lead to Polygon, and yet at one point at the end of last year, someone said we're the second largest Twitter space in the world, and I think a lot of
Nice.
people, yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. There's a lot of work that goes into being that big, and so I don't know if you want me to dive into that, but that's kind of the history that kind of led up to me being a co-host of All Roads Lead to Polygon. Technically, All Roads Lead to Polygon was my idea. I was in a marketing meeting with LDA where it was like an executive conversation, and um, I had been thinking of this space for a long time. This was early last year, I think. I wanted to create like this really chaotic, kind of almost like a house party kind of feel where it's chaotic. All the big names are coming to the party, and everyone's just chopping up and having fun. Like I wanted something different than I had ever seen, and kind of crazy. And we do have a bit of that element, even though there is a pretty fair amount. There's a formula I wrote for the show and all that, but there is a bit of that chaos still. And you've been on the show, so you know how we go all over the place. But yeah, that's I guess a little bit about all roads as well.
Awesome. I think it's really fascinating to see how these things coalesce. There's a certain amount of being in the right place at the right time. And, I think that speaks to the people who decided when and where to put their energy and their resources personally into how they participate in the blockchain, in Web3, to join a team, to come together and work with other people and make something new happen, make something more happen. That I think is a central theme that I see, that I want to follow. I want to appreciate and celebrate the people like you who have stuck it through and helped to create the infrastructure that we now all stand on. I know so many people are swapping on Quickswap right now as we're knee deep in the meme coin season. Um, and I do have to say, I'm looking at my streaming dashboard here, and I think that it might be about to rug us in like 1 minute. I'm seeing this countdown that's got like a minute and a half left on it. I don't know why that's there. I plan on talking to you a whole lot more, so we might have to re-go live in just a moment with a second video. I hope you don't mind. And
Yeah, no
actually,
worries.
we'll go ahead and do that right now because there is only 1 minute left on this countdown. I don't get it, but we'll be right back, guys. So stay tuned.